Hello, Kate Scott.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. God, it seems so long since we spoke.
It has been a long time. It has. I've actually lost track. It's been a while.
Yeah, we had a one-to-one session, didn't we? And I think you did I don't know what are they called, readings or sessions?
Yeah.
I'm totally naive to this, right? I think it's fascinating. It's brilliant. But we'll talk about all of this today. We've got lots to discuss, and I know loads of things have changed since we last had a chat, Kate. You've been through a tough time. It's a really unique business, but I'll let you tell our listeners, who is Kate Scott and what's she all about?
Okay, so I'm Kate. I live up in Northumberland, and I am a psychic medium and I'm a manifesting coach.
Love it.
I do put them together. So I'm kind of trying to reframe myself as a psychic manifesting coach. I'll explain all of that. So it's great fun. I've been doing this a couple of years, and I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it.
Good. And before we get into I suppose the nitty gritty of your reason for your business, right? Before we get into that, what I'm fascinated by as well is the day-to-day, like that, wherever you are there in your office now, what's a typical day like? What does Kate do from morning to night, and how do you manage to fit in all of this amazing manifestation work?
So I'm a bit of an early bird, and I do get up quite early, 5, 5:30, and that's my quiet time. That's my family joke about it. My kids say my quiet time. And that's where I get up, have a cup of tea, sort the animals out, and then I meditate and I journal. And I do that every morning. It really sets me up for the day. It's something I enjoy. I meditate to connect to my team. That's what I call them my team. To connect to them, I journal things out. The first thing I do, journaling wise,
wait there. What's this team? Tell me about this team.
My spiritual team. I call it my team. I call them my team, my spiritual team. And I'm talking about my guides, my angels, my higher self, and my team. They come through. And if you're going to work with spirit, you need to connect with them. You don't expect them to work with you and you not kind of have some sort of relationship, build communication with them, and that's what I do. I absolutely love doing it, and it does set me up for the day. And sometimes I connect and have a right good chat, and I channel messages for myself. They're fantastic. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I want to do this. What should I post today? And some of my Facebook posts actually are channeled. Spirit's in. I get my book and I'm just channeling it. I love it. And sometimes I just meditate just to relax and put me in a better mood, to kind of make me feel good and set me up for the day, just raise me vibe. So I do that every morning religiously. Well, not religiously, there are mornings that I miss it. That's not the end of the world, but that is kind of my routine. And it sets you up for the day. It makes you nice and high five. That's one good thing about meditating. And people talk about meditating a lot at the moment. It's all self-care and things like that. And the reason why meditation is so good for you is because it puts you in the moment. You don't overthink about what's going to happen. You're not thinking about the past. You're in the present moment. And when you're in the present moment, your vibration raises. And that's why it's good for you. And it literally takes 10 minutes. Sometimes I only meditate for 10 minutes. Like, it doesn't have to be a long-winded thing at all. Not at all. But yeah, and that's why it's good for you anyway. And that's why you hear about meditation's good for you. That's the reason why.
Well, can I ask, right, because I can't meditate, right? I'm going to tell you this. I have to tell everyone who I speak to, I can't meditate. It actually stresses us out more to meditate. I get that being quiet and mindful and in the moment and stuff. I've tried it. It stresses us out. But I think a lot of entrepreneurs go through that as well, because like fast pace. Like, how would you respond to somebody like that who said, I don't like it?
You don't like it. Doesn't have to be sitting there in silence. You don't have to do that. Walk. I know people that do walking meditations, and you're not even maybe necessarily listening to anything or doing anything, but you're walking meditation. And as you're walking around, just switch everything off, your mind off. And what can you hear? Oh, I can hear a bird in the distance. I can hear a car going down. All you're doing is tuning into the moment. So you don't have to sit there cross-legged and chant. You know, you don't have to do that. You can. I don't, you know. So you don't have to sit there and quiet. And even one thing I learned is even, you know, like Buddhists, like their meditation, chanting is their thing. Even their minds wander. Like your mind, that's what your mind is designed to. Your mind is designed to think. But what you can do is just try and get yourself in the moment. Even when you're doing your artwork, when you do your artwork, are you really focused?
Yeah, this is
And
what
that is a form of meditation.
Yeah,
you're in that moment.
And that's great, because I get conflicted ideas about this, Kate. Like, some people say, well, you're still working, and some people say, well, no, that's your time. So like, even though I'm doing all of this, I'm really leaning into the Northern Lass Lounge and trying to grow that community. I'll still do me writing, and I'll still do me artwork, and that still is part of my business, but that's my time.
Yeah, that's your time. You're in the moment. You're focused on what you're doing. You're not thinking about what's happening next week, next year. You're not thinking about horrible things, I don't know, whatever that's happened in the past, and replaying the conversations. You're in the moment. That's a form of meditation. That is just as good. It doesn't have to be complicated.
It doesn't.
No.
So your backstory then. I want to know, when you found out you were psychic, what happened?
There wasn't a major revelation. I've been quite lucky because a lot of my psychic friends have had really scary moments as children, seeing spirit at the end of their bed, and you know, a lot that is quite common. No, that's not me. I can think back now as a young child and think, yes, that's who I was talking to, and that, you know, but there was nothing scary. As I grew up into teenagers, I always knew when somebody was lying at school. Right. Always knew. I could tune into that very easily. I was very kind of sensitive to what I know now as energy, so I could pick up on any atmosphere very, very quickly. Always knew when someone was lying. I learned very quickly not to say anything, because as soon as you say to someone, you're lying, no, I'm not, you know, it's a ridiculous conversation. It's just, you know, so I never, even to this day, I never let on, because there's no point.
Well, there isn't. I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? I'm not arguing with someone, you know. So yeah, I've always been able to pick up when somebody was lying, which is, and I remember when I was about 15, me and a friend went to this, it was a right dingy pub, and they were having a psychic night. So we went, oh, we're gonna have a look, you know. I must have been about 15, 16. I know I was smoking. And anyway, and it wasn't glamorous in the slightest. And I just looked around and I thought, that's me. That's what I, you know, I don't know, it was just quite a revelation. Anyway, I had my little reading done, and, you know, and that was that. And then I kind of discovered drinking, smoking, hanging about with bad crowds, done that for a few years. So it wasn't until I got a bit older and calmed down a little bit, then I really got the first revelation, really. And I was being drawn to spirit more and more. It was just coming. I was just getting huge nudges, little signs. And then one day I was with my first husband, and we were living. My daughter then was 3-4 months old. She wasn't old. And then crayons started appearing on the walls. Blue and red crayon, and it wouldn't wash off. You couldn't get it off. But it wasn't me, it wasn't my husband, it wasn't my daughter. She could hold a pen, you know. And what had happened is a child spirit had come to me. She was with me for a long, long, long time. And that was the beginning of my journey. I'd even go around friends' houses, and it was like, what's that? And there would be left a bit of crayon on the wall. Like, she was with me everywhere. I used to have things like Reiki. I was getting right into things like that. Then I used to have Reiki and you know, stuff like that. I was getting more and more spiritual. And she'd help. I'd see her helping, giving me Reiki and stuff, you know, and it's a little Victorian girl. And that was the start. So it wasn't until I was in the mid-20s, that it really started kicking in.
So do you believe that there's certain people who can do this, who can do what do you call yourself? Are you a psychic? What are you?
Okay, so a psychic, everyone can be a psychic. This is what I believe. This is what I was taught when I was developing. Everyone can be a psychic. And being psychic is really tapping into your intuition, tapping into that gut feeling. Really you can connect to energy. Anyone can read the tarot cards. Anyone can learn and really tap into, being more psychic and having that connection. Connection to your guide, your team. Okay, everyone can have that connection. Mediumship is where you connect to other people that have passed over. I connect to your grandmother.
Yeah.
That's mediumship. Okay. To be able to connect to a loved one, past people that have passed over, that is mediumship. So everyone can be a psychic. Not everyone is a medium.
Right. Okay.
Does that make sense? And there might be people that disagree there. That's how I was taught, and that's how I can see it. I can see how that works. So all mediums are psychic. Not all psychics.
Can you do both of them? Yeah. You wouldn't do because you did it with me.
Yeah. So and that's how I see it. So everyone can really tune in to their psychic side. Everyone can tune into their senses. Everyone can open their third eye, really kind of get to grips your intuition and really have that connection to source. Mediumship is where you can talk, sense, see, hear, feel people that have passed over. That's how I see it. Some people may see it differently. That's how I see it.
Now, because I can't remember if I talked about this with you, Kate. I think I might have. When I've always been told by various people that I have the gift or whatever you want to call it, right? And I remember there's a couple of things. Like I went to we used to call it the spookies. Go there where they do like readings and stuff, and there'd be a medium on. And I remember there was about 20 people there, and she singled us out, and she just went, "You need to do something with your." I was only about 15 at the time. You need to do something with your potential, and like. I'm always like, what would you do? How would you even start? So if somebody thought, I think I'm psychic, or I think I could be a medium, how do you even start to embrace it? Like, what do you do? How do you grow it? How do you develop it? What do you need to do?
The first thing that I would say to develop it is meditate. That's the way, that's the first thing. But that is the first way. And to build that connection with your guides, with your angels, with your higher self, you've spent a long time not communicating with them. You need to build up that relationship. Do you know what I mean? And it's so meditation is key for that. Meditation is really, really key. That's the first thing how I would say people would start med. And as I say, it could be 10 minutes a day. It does not have to be chanty, long-winded, complicated. Stick a thing on YouTube, 10-minute meditation on YouTube, follow the words, dead easy. And you did meditate, because when we've done the reading, I do an opening up meditation with you.
I did.
Yeah. And then it was just literally a couple of minutes, but you did it. So yeah, it doesn't have to be hard. But yeah, that's the first thing I would say. Meditation is key, is to start that connection going.
And that session that we had, tell our listeners, I know we've talked about the manifestation part of it as well, which you're doing at the minute. That session, what is the purpose of those sessions, would you say? What is the reason for them?
What, the readings?
Yes. What do people go, like, why do you
people have readings for many different reasons. You can gain a lot of clarity, a lot of guidance. Maybe people are indecisive about things, feeling a little bit stuck, maybe. Not quite sure. Sometimes people are just intrigued. There's so many reasons, and that's why you really, like, for me, it's very hard to have an ideal client, because there'll be people that you think that they're not interested in that, but they are. I found the past couple of years there are people that follow me who you just wouldn't dream, even imagine that would be interested in spirituality and readings and things like that. But anyway, it's so many reasons, but you can gain a lot of clarity and a lot of guidance from a reading.
I certainly did. I mean, like, I think you even said at the time, it's like you're a little bit in between things at the minute. It was before the lounge started kicking off. It was, didn't know how much energy to put into me writing and stuff, and we talked for ages. And you tapped into me nana, didn't you? You were
She was hilarious.
I know, I remember now. So yeah, and it's I've had a look at your group, and I've had a look at your presence on social media, and something that I'm quite skeptical about, okay, and I know you'll get this all the time, and I'm totally honest, and it's the manifestation part of it, okay? Now, when I looked on your page and I read through how you'd actually explained it, I was like, right, I kind of understand it now, because I believe that some people just think you can just imagine walking around this house and you'll get this house. It doesn't work like that, right? It doesn't. So manifestation, explain to me what your thoughts are and how it works.
Okay, so I love manifesting. It has worked for me many times, and I've studied it quite intensely. The science behind, you might get the science part behind it. So the physics part of it, okay, is the fact that everything is energy. You, me, money, cars, everything's energy. The device that we're doing this on, everything's energy. And if everything's energy, everything has a vibration. That's a scientific fact. Everything has a vibrational rate, including us, our thoughts. Okay. The science behind manifesting is getting your own vibrational rate into the same vibration. The thing that you want to manifest, and it'll come to you. What you put out there comes back. Okay. And that's basically the science, an easy way to explain the science of manifesting. It's no good just saying, I want this, I'm going to manifest this. There is a bit of, you've got to be very consistent with it. I found manifesting was very good for my mental health, which I'll talk about a little bit shortly, because you do have to work a lot on your limiting beliefs. You can't manifest anything if deep down in your head you're thinking, well, I cannot do that, or well, I'm no good at that. You're not going to manifest anything, because you've got that big bad block there. And the most important part of manifesting is it's not who you are, it's who you're being in the process. So if you want to be a successful businesswoman, you've got to start being that successful businesswoman. You've got to start acting like her, showing up as her. When I'm working from home, even if I've got no clients that day, I'll put a full face of makeup up on and I dress up. I'm being that woman. If you want to be successful and have lots of money, you wouldn't have them crumbly old knickers in your top drawer with the elastic going. You'd have nice posh Marks and Spencer knickers. You just would. It's not what you're doing, it's who you're being. So if you start being that person, what you put out there has to come back to you. Yeah, agree. Does that make sense? Do you get that?
I do, right? And this is so relevant, right? Because last night after the Northern Lass Lounge event, I went up to the pub with a few people who were there, and we were talking about, I suppose, the goals that you set out to reach. And when I read something that you put on your page, there was a quote that I wrote, or your group, sorry, there was a quote that you said, focus on moving, you move, and because you move, things move around you. And I went, that's when I went, I get it, because I've had a list, and I took it with us last night. This is my bucket list for 2020. And I didn't just write them down and then go like that.
No.
I put steps in place. And is that a form of manifestation? I don't know. Is it?
Yes, it is. Another word for manifestation of attraction is co-creating with the universe. Okay, so what happens is when you want something, a lot of people think, if I just get all my ducks in a row, then no. So what you do, you want something and you do something towards it, even if it's Googling something, if it's doing a little bit of research, you're putting an action there. The universe can only match that.
Yeah.
Then you do another action. The universe then can only match that. And then do, and dun, 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 and then you get to, don't wait until all your ducks are in a row before you start moving. Start creating them, because once you start moving, it gets matched.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes into thoughts. So, don't dismiss any ideas, thoughts and things that come into your head, because what they are called is, once you start moving and start doing that, they're called inspired actions. Okay, or we call them downloads or inspired actions. That is a form of manifestation, because what you're doing is you've started to move, and them crazy ideas. I don't know, you get up in the middle of the night to go for a wee or something, and you have a crazy idea, but it makes you feel good, and you say, oh, that's an inspired action. If you take action on that, and I'm sorry, I'm moving. This is a podcast. I'm moving my hands forward. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, you move towards your goal quicker, and that's how you manifest quicker, is by taking action, then an inspired action towards whatever it is you want to achieve.
I love that, because I definitely get inspired actions at 5 o'clock-ish in the morning when I'm up.
Write them down.
I'm about to go to the gym, and sometimes I'll start messaging my team and they'll be like, oh God, she's up, and I'm going, right, we need to do this, and so many ripple effects happen off them moments.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
It's incredible.
That's everything and I want to say as well, it's not what you think, it's what you feel, you manifest. What you feel, you manifest. So if you feel that feeling inside and it feels, I feel it in your belly or feel it kind of here. Yeah. If it makes you feel good, that's your vibration. What you feel, you manifest. So if you hold that feeling, that's what you can manifest. So people say, like, well, I do, but people say, like, you do, when you do the visualization, when you really kind of visualize what you want. A lot of athletes do it. They visualize the track and things. Okay. So when you visualize what it is that you want, if you do it enough, you'll start to feel it. You'll start to get a bit excited. What you feel is what you manifest. And that's how it works.
Excellent. So manifestation, people who are listening, if you're like me and you have a logical mindset, then that's just been explained beautifully for me. So thank you.
Oh, some people get it that way. Yeah.
I think it's important as well, Kate, and I know we've touched on it a little bit, but to hear about your challenges that you've gone through and the recent what's happened in your life, because it'll help lots and lots of lasses. So can you just, and I think this is about how your relationship was potentially holding you back from you doing what you want to do and stepping into your power. So can you just tell us about what's been going on?
Yeah, I did actually reach out to the Next Level loungers about this, because I was stuck in a bit of a business point of view, and I did reach out. But yeah, as from today recording this, a month ago, my husband walked out, and it was my second marriage, and I started really kind of getting into developing my spirituality in order to start working a few years ago, about 3 years ago now, and he hated it, absolutely hated it, never spoke about it. However, I carried on, and to get to a stage where I'm good at this, I can do this, and yeah, I developed it and I started up my business. And when I say I had no support, there was no support. He openly, for the past couple of years, I'm embarrassing, didn't like it, didn't speak about it. There was never, oh, how did you get on? Nothing. I'd go and do something, go and do some training, like upstairs in my room, so be in the same house, go and do this. There was never, how did you get on? Any sort of trials or tribulations, any quiet weeks, get a job.
I didn't have that sense of anxiety. It must have been horrific.
It was like it now, after just a month, I'm looking back and it's like, how can I be how was I being like a super positive Polly and being, yeah, we'll do this, where all of that was going on in the background. You don't see it at the time because you just get on, you just live, don't you? You just do it, don't you?
Honestly, I've gone through, just quickly to see, I went through when I did bodybuilding. My husband hated it, but that wasn't my thing. So I'm glad that I didn't start. That wasn't my reason for why I'm on this planet, right? That wasn't. It was something crazy that I did. But I can totally relate to that, that anxiety and that not in your stomach, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always there. And as I say, loads of people were very supportive. Oh, how did you get on with, whatever it is I was doing, nothing from my husband, nothing, and there was, when I say there was no support, there was no support. I've had a website for the past couple of years, sorry. And my husband only knew I had a website on the day that he left, because he decided to Google me. And he found out my website, and he didn't even know I had a website. Like, he was that little involved. He said, I didn't know you had a website. Yeah, I've had it a couple of years. Oh, it looks all right, actually. I know. Yeah. And he left the house on the Friday saying, he started off the conversation by saying lots of nasty things, but then saying, oh, I'm an embarrassment, cringy. And if he knew that I was going to do all this spiritual shit, he would never have married me. And once there was no going back from that. And then once he said, oh, that was fine, and off he went first thing on the Saturday morning. So it was very quick, very brutal. And I spent, I think it was 4 days underneath my blanket fort, because it was like, but I thought I was good at this. We told you in embarrassment for something that you believe in, what your purpose is.
Oh God, yeah.
Is the most, it's very crushing. It is very crushing. It's like somebody saying to you, the Northern Lounge.
I mean, right? It's like my husband said.
Yeah.
What you write,
and it was very crushing. And as I say, I spent 4 days underneath my blanket fort. On the 5th day, I messaged my friend, say, right, I'm ready to face the world. And I'd done a lot. Luckily, I've got some spiritual friends. I've done I know a lot of modalities, and I've done a lot of work on myself. Yeah, I'm still gonna have wobbles. It's only been a month. No, I'm still gonna have wobbles as time goes on, but I'm okay. I'm gonna be okay. Me and my children are gonna be okay, and I know that. I know that. Yeah, there'll be wobbles. Of course there is. There will be. But I wanted to say, because it's something, when you're living with that lack of support, women won't tell people about it.
Yes.
Because they won't. They will not be open about it until now they go. Until because the relationship has to break up. It can't go anywhere, because even if I stopped my psychic readings, I stopped and I got a job, I wouldn't have been happy. I would have ended up resenting him. We would have split up anyway, because I would have hated him for it. So it has to, that lack of support, it has to. And it's not until they actually leave, and then the woman looks back and says, oh my God, and then she's able to voice it to her friends and people and say, he didn't support me, and he said this about me, and he told me I was bad. You're not going to go. It's very hard at the time to say to people, my husband thinks I'm an embarrassment. It's not shameful, but it feels shameful. Like, you can't say to people that. Well, you should be able to, but you don't. And that's why I really wanted to be super duper open about it, because it's very hard to talk about when it's happening. And and no matter what, woman knows, she knows he's not supporting her. She knows it's going nowhere.
She feels yourself, don't you? You kid yourself, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, and you put a front on it.
And you question yourself, and like, there'll be so many women in the lounge that'll be listening to this, Kate, and they'll be going, and I'm hoping that you'll give them I'm not saying to split up with their partner, but to give them the bloody deserve to be doing what they're doing, like you do. No one should tell you're an embarrassment. Nobody.
If that's happening, do you know what? And what saw me through, and I'm going to mention it now because it kind of pulled me through and out of my blanket fort in a way. I called it my blanket fort. Don't get me wrong, I still fed my kids and walked the dogs and done the shopping, but it was Netflix and TikTok that saw me through. Anyway, anyway, what I'd done and what I had done previously to the breakup is I got myself a very, very strong why I was doing what I was doing. And it's not the money that sees you through. It's not the material stuff. It's the why. that pulls you through the shit times. Sorry, I'm swearing. I'm a swearer. It's the why that will pull you through the crap.
Yeah.
It's the why that when somebody mocks you, that you carry on the next day. And it's the why that will pull you through, not the money, not the big house, not anything else. It's your why. And it's my why that got me out of my blanket fort, got me messaging my mates saying, right, I'm ready to face the world, I'm coming back. It was my why. And so if anybody is facing that, when, you know, if any girl is like got a partner is saying, what we want to do that for, you know, all that crap that they get given, spend time and get your why. Spend a few days on it. What's your why? Because it's that why that will pull you through the days when they say, well, that's a bit rubbish, or what you're doing that for, or, you know, whatever it is, or get a job. It's your why that will see you through. And it's my why that saw me through.
Sound amazing advice. I'm excited for, because I know when we had your one-to-one, I mean, I had no clue this was going on, obviously, but you did mention a couple of times that you didn't want to be quite open about it on social media, and I bet that was a direct impact from what was happening in your house.
But you don't want to do that because it's a bit embarrassing, isn't it? What would people think? What would our friends think? They're all going to laugh at you. Yeah.
I bet now you've got this sense of release where you're like, oh, I was going to tell the world.
This is me. It is me. And one of the missions I had when I first started, I'll tell you a little story. When I very first started developing and really building up the connection to spirit, and my first channeled message to myself. Now I channel, that's what I do. And anyway, they started speaking. My guide started speaking. I was like, oh, hold on, I need a pen and paper. So I really got myself a pen and paper. And my message, my very first message was, show people how wonderful it is. Show people the normality. And I was like, what do you mean? Show people the normality. And I was like, how? By being you.
Yes. The power of you. That's it.
Yeah. And so ever since then, that's been on in the back of my mind for my little mission, to show people you don't have to be different to be spiritual. You know, you don't have to chant meditations for hours on end and wear oversized clothes and be a vegan and teetotal. And don't get me wrong, if that's what you want to do, that's absolutely fine. But you don't have to. Like, I love a gin and tonic with the girls. Like, I do. I don't chant. I know that 10 minutes a day, if you're short of time, is enough to connect to spirit. You know, I love getting my nails done. I love makeup. I love having a love. I swear like a trooper, you know, and it's me. And I am very, very spiritual. You know, I speak to spirit every day. You know, it's me and the normality. And that's what I want to start bringing out, the normality of manifesting. It's, you know, it's nothing. Everyone can do it. Everyone can change their life. You know, no one's their thoughts, and negative thoughts, you can change them. Okay. I've done it, been there, done it. And so, yeah, it's the normality behind spirituality. You don't have to be anyone different.
Bloody good on you, lass. Honestly,
yeah.
For you. I am buzzing, and I can see you've got the fire in you. I know it's probably still quite raw. But the lounge is behind you, and I love what
when I reached out to the next level, just to say, because I was feeling all right, mindset I was all right, but business wise, my plan had gone. Like, I had no plan of what do I do? Like, I've got I was stuck. I was like, I want to, it's there, I want to get going, but it's like my mind had gone blank. There was no plan. So that's why I reached out, and the amount of support I got was just absolutely unreal. Absolutely.
And they're just little beauts, aren't they?
So they're gorgeous.
I don't sit behind there and approve everything. I've got my team who help us. I come in when I can, and we take it, like, we've got a rota system because it's so bloody active. But I love the days where I come in and I have a look, and I'm like, look at this. Look at all these people who are giving you all support. And by the end of it, I'm like, I've got nothing to add here. Other than I've got your back, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and having that support, women supporting women is just the best. It's just the best. Yeah.
I am going to ask you a question about crystals.
Oh.
So I've got like, because I can say you do stuff with crystals, don't you? Do stuff with crystals. I'm sure there's like.
I'm not an expert. I have a go-to person that when I have
Right.
questions about
Okay.
crystals, so I'm not a crystal expert.
That's
So
okay. I want to know, like, so my best mate uses crystals all the time. Like she puts them in certain like certain crystals, and I've got. I wish I could flip the screen around. Right, people might know about it. I've got like it's like a weird. A weird like ritual that I do. God, people's gonna think I'm not. I've got all these mushroom shaped crystals, right? And I can't pick one up at the minute because if I do, I'll break the chain that's on there. God, he's gonna think I'm crazy. Every time I do a talk, I put one in my bra. You know how people put crystals in their bra, and it's always that little. So last night I had it, and it's becoming a bit of a hindrance, Kate, because if I don't remember it,
that's it, you panic.
So do you believe in like the whole energy from crystals, or do you think it's a placebo? What are your thoughts on it?
No, crystals do have an amazing energy. I've got the lapis one.
Right.
Very blue. I don't know if you can see. It's very blue. I've got a blue raw crystal in my necklace there. Remembering this is a podcast. And that's a necklace. This helps with your throat chakra and communication, which I thought would be ideal for today. So yeah, I do absolutely believe in the energy of crystals. I do charge my crystals in the full moon. And yeah, I always hold. I've got crystals behind me here. So what I do, I've got a little ritual. I probably don't even need to do it, but I've got a same ritual. So every time I do a reading with somebody, I have an amethyst. I'm showing
an amethyst.
An amethyst crystal. I always hold that in my left hand. And I've got a rose quartz and amethyst bracelet, which I have on my left wrist. I do that with every single reading. I do. And I probably don't have to, but I do. I do. So I'm the same.
It makes you have to. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I've got 13, right? And they all have to be touching. I'm a weirdo. They all have to be touching. And then I touch every single one. And I take one. It's probably a bit of OCD as well. And I take one and put it in my bra, and that's my thing.
Oh, that's your thing. If it makes you feel good, why not? Who says it's bad? If it makes you feel good. The best crystal for business.
Oh, right. Come on.
For crystals. I've got a couple here. This is called the merchant's stone, and it's a citrine. And I've got a small piece of citrine in my purse. Because it's a great manifesting stone. It's a great stone for abundance. And yeah, this is a great one. I have this on my desk.
What's it called? Citrine?
Citrine, yeah. It's like a nice yellowy.
I'm going to write it down. I was going to ask you, like, what's the best one for?
So it's called the merchant stone. So it's really good for business. It's good for manifesting. It's good for money. It's a good money stone.
Class. We'll have that. Yeah. Top of tokens. Have you heard about top of tokens from the lounge? You might not have. You might not have.
You know what? I know the term, but why don't I know what it is?
Well, we talked about top of tokens. So people who are listening, right? If you don't know what top of tokens is, this is something that our Loza Mack, invented. She invented top of tokens. She didn't invent the concept of it, but she called them top of tokens. And it's one of these things where you see, which has been really poignant in your life. It can be a symbol, it can be an animal, it can be whatever, right? And I'm sure you're starting to think now, yes, I get it. So mine's mushrooms, right? Because I was in that forest and I saw those mushrooms and it changed my life. It was as if they were meant to be there at that certain time. And you can use your top of token for, like, if you're feeling a little bit lost, they tend to appear. So Laura's is rainbows and red balloons. And there was something we were talking about last night in terms of the afterlife. So I'm just wondering if something like that keeps coming to you, like, I know Nana's with us when there's a white feather there. I was just
about to say feather, yeah.
Is there anything that you've got like that?
Feathers and angel numbers.
So what's an angel number?
Angel numbers, that's also a sign. So it's like repetitive numbers. So
1111.
1111, yeah. 222, 777, 888, yeah, the angel numbers. And
So
that's really nice sign. I see a lot of them.
Yeah, my mum gets 1111 all the time, like all the time. And what do you think?
What's your thoughts? 1111 is a really good one. Catch your thoughts, make sure you think really positively. It's like it's normally the first angel number that people start seeing, generally.
Oh.
So if you're going to start seeing angel numbers, it's always 111 or 1111, you know. And also it's like catch your thoughts, making sure you're thinking positive thoughts, because more positive things are going to come to you and things. Yeah.
Oh, and last night I was doing the raffle and one of the numbers came up, was 666, and I went, and Laura went, all right, it's a positive
number. Yeah,
it's an all right number. I went, all right, cool.
I get, especially the past month, since my husband went, I've seeing ridiculous amount of angel numbers all the time. Yeah, that's the little sign.
Class. Have you ever had a scary experience, Kate?
I have been very lucky, but I remember this was when I was married to my first husband, and I used to open up a lot, but I wasn't developed, so I wasn't protecting myself very well. Didn't know how to, didn't know it was a thing. And I remember seeing a spirit. It was a spirit, and he was a creepy looking man. And I was living in a house with like kind of a very long landing and then kind of doors coming off. And what he was doing, and he'd done it for quite a while, he'd peer around a door.
Oh my word.
And then come back again. And then another door, and he'd peer around. And that was kind of, I got the sense that that's what he used to do when he was alive. And he'd peer around and he'd go again. And I did. It took me a little while for him to go, like, get him away, because yeah, it was he was a horrible, I think he was a horrible man when he was alive. That's what he used to do when he was alive. But yeah, peer around the doorways, and I had to get the guides and come and help protect me and kind of do lots of protection things. And then he went.
You have to do like a protection kind of.
Always, yeah, I always close down after anything I do spiritual. So I open up to spirit.
And then that with me, didn't you?
Yeah, and then I close down my energy. And if you don't close down, it makes you it makes you easily absorb everybody else's energy. Empaths, anybody that listens to this that's an empath will know, because you feel other people's energy, and if you feel drained, and if you don't protect yourself, it's a bit like a draining battery. You end up tired, headachy, overwhelmed in business, you know, like getting that feeling of overwhelmed because you're a draining battery. And that's what can happen to kind of spiritual things as well. So after anything spiritual that I do, I just fill myself up with a white light, put a bubble of protection around me, close down my team, you know, closing down my spirit, and I'll see you very soon, and I'm protected. And it means basically, I am quite, my intuition's quite good, and I can pick things up, but I can't see anything spiritually either. Very rarely. I do if I need to, if they need to show me something, but no, I'm protected. I'm closed down. That's my boundary. Don't disturb me. When I'm ready, I'll open up. And then
I was going to ask, like, could you just be so much noise? I'm like, how do you get rid of them?
I did before I started doing it, before I developed. Yeah, there would be kind of random images and things, people I would see sometimes, not all the time at all, but yeah. And then, but yeah, I'm closed down. I don't see any random faces.
Is it all your senses? Like, can you smell things as well? And
smell things, yes, I can, not all the time. That's not really my main one. So for me, I don't know all about the clairs. There's a clair audience, there's a clairvoyance thing. I don't know what the clair is. But I sense, I see, I hear, I feel.
You feel, do you? Do you
Yeah.
actually feel?
Yeah, and that can be something like tapping, or or it could be if I'm reading with someone, I can feel an injury that they may have, or an illness that they may have. I remember opening up, because I always do my own thing before coming on screen to do a reading, and I was like, bloody breathe. I was like, and she had that PDS, no, the long,
You're joking.
yeah, and I was like, and once I acknowledged it, it went. It went. But yeah, it was like, so you can feel things like that. But yeah, you can feel the tapping and all sorts, and you can feel if a spirit comes through and stuff. My main thing, I do channels. So basically what it is, I just repeat, the words just come. And sometimes in a lot of readings, I don't actually have a clue what I'm saying, because I'm just speaking. And it's almost like spirit speaking through me. So, and after I've said it, it's like, you're gonna have to write that down, because I've got no idea what I've just said. And that's channeling. So I do that a lot, and that's my favorite thing to do.
Awesome. So what talk to us about your Facebook group, Kate. So you've got Spellbound Bell, yeah, is that right? That?
Yeah, I do a little, just another stream of income. I do it's a marketing company called Spellbound, and there's beautiful candles, crystals.
Yeah.
And it was just I was so aligned to it. It's a manifesting company. It's just right up my street. Self-care, manifesting, ambition, empowerment, and it's all kind of gorgeous candles, crystals, and just gorgeous things. I was just totally aligned. My main group is Kate, psychic medium / manifesting coach.
Yes. Okay. So what goes on in there?
Well, all sorts. I just tell people about what I'm doing. I do a weekly card for the weekend. So every Friday I'll do a tarot card for the weekend. And so I do that every week. But it's basically what I'm doing. I'm doing a lot of spiritual posts at the moment, because what I want to do very shortly is to start doing a spiritual development course. I think that would be fun. So I'm putting that together in a roundabout way. So there's a lot of spiritual posts, what I've been through, what things mean. So in the next week or so, there'll be a lot more what things mean, what, about what's a dream, what's a visualization, and stuff like that, so that's coming. If I'm doing manifesting stuff, there'll be a lot more manifesting posts, so it's explaining the hows, the whys, what to do, and things like that. I also I'm trained in a variety of modalities, energy healing modalities. So I do things like the activation method, which is a one-to-one session, which is a healing and manifesting modality. So it's really identifying what's holding you back, what's restricting you, what your blocks are. It's taking you back, working with the subconscious mind, taking you back to the root cause. So that could be in a past life, it could be ancestral, it could be in this lifetime, cutting the cords to that, releasing it, reframing it, learning lessons from it, and then integrating you with your future so you can manifest, releasing all the crap that's holding you back, all your blocks, all the baggage, cutting the cords, getting rid of it, and moving you forward. So yeah, I do variety of that. So I talk about that as well. And yeah, so there's lots going on in there.
So you do those as big, like one-to-ones. I saw all the things that were listed in your manifesting sessions. Manifesting readings, is that what it's called?
That's a new thing I've started. Yeah, like so I open up, it's like a reading. So I open up psychically to you, calling my team, and okay, so and I kind of like, what is it you want to manifest? And it's great because I get channeled information back. So it's like, okay, this is your block, this is what's holding you back. If you do this and this will help you manifest. And and it's like a question and answer, but it's actually spirit that's answering. I also do like kind of psychic guidance, business guidance readings, and it's the same sort of thing. So for people who are just starting up or just feel stuck, not sure what to do, and it's not me, because I'm still building my business effectively. So it's not me that's answering, it's spirit, and they come up with some cracking ideas. And it's like people ask questions like, I think I might do this and then that, and it's like, no, you need to do that first, do that, and it gets channeled guidance coming.
How awesome is that?
I fell into that accidentally, actually. Well, yeah, maybe about a year ago, I fell into that accidentally, the business guidance readings, and it's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic.
I
And
bet you'll be learning as well.
well, exactly, yeah. But because I channel the answers to their questions, and it's fantastic. It's great fun.
Class.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to get onto the part of the podcast where I've asked my team, and it's called Why I Lass. Why I Lass. I've asked my team to write a question or ask you a question. They knew I was going to be interviewing you today.
Oh, I'm nervous now.
So, who's it gonna be? They've been quite sensible recently. I'm a bit disappointed. So, oh, I might know the answer to this. Our Mirren, the branding queen, to know if you were an animal, what would it be and why?
Oh. Right.
She's thinking about this.
Yeah, right. Okay. I'm thinking either a wolf or a lion.
Oh.
Yeah, because they're very wild, very free. They roam about just doing their thing. They don't answer to anybody. They don't account to anyone. They literally roam free, doing their thing. I like that. Yes. Interesting. Yes, I think I would be something like that, just to be able to roam free.
And do you ever, this has just come into my head, do you ever channel animals?
I haven't. No. I do know of psychics that do, and that's their thing. Animal psychic. There is a thing. It is a thing. I've never done it. Although all the animals that I've ever had, all the pets, when they have passed over, they have visited me only once, and then off they went. But no, it is a thing. It's not my thing. I've never done it. Although saying that, I have seen like a person in spirit who I knew, and they had their dog who they had for years. I didn't even know this dog, but they had this dog for years, and that dog was by his feet. So that happened. But as a thing, no. That's not
just jumped into my head.
It is doable. It is a thing. It is a thing.
It's so fascinating. What's next for you? What are you manifesting next for you, Kate? What's your plan?
Well, it's exciting because I don't know. It is all about new beginnings for me at the moment. So, which is super exciting. Like, where is it going to lead me? I don't know. So definitely I want to do a psychic development course, which I really want to start launching this month. I want to get that going. I think that I've encountered the ups and downs, trials and tribulations. So that's why I think I can really help people with that. So I'm definitely doing that. I'm definitely going to be more present and get myself out there more on social media, show people what I can do. I really want to help women. I really want to help because I know I can do it. It's like, you can do something. I really want to be able to help women identify what's holding them back, because sometimes we don't know what's keeping us stuck. I really want to help women identify what's keeping them stuck so we can heal it, get rid of it, so they can move on to create the life that they want. Everyone, we can all create the life that we want. Sometimes we just need to be shown how. And I really want to help women know that anything is available to them. And all that crap that goes on in their heads, I can't do it, I'm not good enough, everybody else is doing it, they're better, they're more professional than me, they look better. I want to really help them get rid of that so they can move on and really create a most wonderful life for themselves and have that freedom lifestyle. That's what I would like to do. I don't know how that's going to happen, but I think that's what I really want to do.
Well, this will be the start of it, to be honest. Like, this is why I love the podcast, Kate, because this is giving you your chance to explain what you're doing in the simplest way, like for people who are in the lounge. Like, there'll be so many lasses who will feel lost. I've felt it, and like, just having that different way of thinking about it. Hopefully there'll be some lasses who'll reach out to you now. I certainly think they will. And the fact that you've been open and honest and told us, and you've been quite raw with what you've gone through, I think it'll really help you. I thought, get Kate on and tell her like a different way. You don't have to go and, I don't know, you don't have to go and do training courses here, there and everywhere. It's a different way of thinking about it, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You're not your thoughts. Them horrible thoughts, I can't do it, I'm not pretty enough, they're all doing it, you're not your thoughts. You can change them. It can be flipped round, and you can achieve anything that you want. You can. I know you can. Sometimes when I do readings and I look at people, I can see the future them. And it's like, if you knew what I knew, or you could see what I could see, you'd be standing up or sitting up so much straighter. Your posture would be so different. You'll be so much more confident. Like, you can. And I really want to help women know that they can do it.
Well, you told me I've got 5 books, so I best get cracking.
Was it 5? I don't remember that. Did I say 5? I remember I mentioned Waterstones.
You did, and I hadn't done anything with Waterstones at the time. I think.
No, I remember, but I don't remember the 5 books. So yeah.
Well,
I can't believe you. Yeah.
Well, you won't know. So this is really poignant then, because last night I shared something, and it'll be coming out on social media once I've been on holiday and stuff. And maybe I have manifested, Kate, but you did say like there will be something happening with Waterstones. I've just had the call today with the lead coordinator of the events across the whole of the Northeast for Waterstones, who wants us in all of their stores across the Northeast.
That's amazing.
So last night I told them last night on the stage, I went, I can't believe it, because I got a bit anxious about I've leaned out of promoting all of that, because I want to focus on the lounge as much as possible. I'm still writing, I'm still doing my illustrating, my books are still happening, but when you spread too thin, I was spread too thin, so I've kind of backed off. But look what's happened by doing that. They've come to me.
Yeah, meant for you.
And you said this a year ago.
And it's funny we've just brought that up as well.
Yeah. So there you go, lasses. You need to get in touch with Kate, and she'll tell you how awesome you are. Actually, if somebody wants to session with you, how do they have a chat with you? Do they just contact you, Kate? What do they do?
Yeah, just come on to my group, Kate Psychic Medium /manifesting coach, and just pop us a message. Dead easy.
Fab. Excellent. Well, thank you so much. It's been brilliant chatting to you again.
And thank you for having me.
It's all right. I'll see you in the next level, lass. See you later.
Bye.